Hello everyone, we are going to be exploring the intercultural concepts in the film Brooklyn. We follow Eilish Lacey, an Irish immigrant, navigating the challenges of cultural and social adjustments in America. Her journey reflects the complexity of cultural identity, belonging, and the delicate balance between her Irish heritage and her new life in America. A key concept explored in the movie is cultural identity, which shows three different types of characteristics, which is central, dynamic, and multifaceted. As Eilish encounters new cultures, she becomes more aware of her own identity, shaped by both her Irish background and her interaction with the diverse American society. This tension between her past and present is illustrated through her progressive relationship, particularly with her romantic relationship with an Italian American man named Tony, which shows a lot about their cultural differences, especially in their communication, which we also are seeing a lot of their communication style as very high context versus low context communication, which creates a lot of misunderstanding, whether it be subtle or not, as it leads a lot of misinterpretation between the two of them, as Tony is very much a high context individual with his upbringing in an Italian American household, very expressive, very open, very much direct with how they feel and how they say things, which is very, very different from Eilish's upbringing as an Irish immigrant, as they are very much more subtle and very reserved in how they speak and how they say things. Between all of this, Eilish kind of learns to adapt and shifts a lot of her own values and her own communication styles in order to really understand and feel out on not only herself and her growth as a person throughout the film, but also showing growth towards her loving relationship and her progression with Tony, which also shows a lot of the cultural identity and how it can be fluid and shaped with how intercultural communication can be like. Also, another very, very important role in intercultural communication is cultural adaptation. As we see throughout the film, Eilish really navigates herself throughout America as an immigrant, which initially she's struggling on Irish stereotypes, such as, being very reserved, being very quiet, and not as big and expressive as even Americans are. But as she gradually adapts herself into the American society, we also see the emphasis of adaptation is never a indication of abandoning one's true self and also her roots, as she also goes back to Ireland, which kind of shows us that you can also intermingle and assimilate yourself into a new culture, but also creating a great connection into your roots. So overall, Brooklyn offers very much a great portrayal of not only the Irish immigrant experience, but also the dynamics of how two different types of cultures, being Irish and the Italian American cultures, can be, and how it really shows and challenges balancing between cultural identity and assimilating into a new society, but also celebrating the nuance of both the culture. In the end, we are shown a lot of how differences and misunderstandings can be communicated and also changed, and how fluid those two different things can be in the film, which also reminds us that intercultural communication is very much key to understanding and adapting to not only ourselves, but where we come from and how we very much interact with other cultures in our lives. So yeah, that is my analysis.